Hi, hello, and welcome back this time to a podcast where I talk about going from corporate drone to corporate dropout. You know it, you love it. Welcome to Chaos and Fuckery. My Tuesday episodes will always be a goal setting, a conversation about goals, something related to how we're progressing in the year against my business goals for 2025. But because I moved the podcast to a new platform, if you will, I'm just going to talk about goal setting in general and how I went about doing it for 2025, where I'm at with my 2025 goals, what they are, and then kind of dive a little deeper into how I handle it on a week-to-week basis, because everyone handles it a little bit differently, and I really struggled with goal setting when I first started my business. One thing that I really struggled with, especially as a daydreamer, ADHDer, if you will, is I would have these big lofty goals, right? I would do things like think about my giant property. That's been one of my big goals for a very long time. I would daydream about Zillow properties and the 2-story house I wanted and the house with the pool, or the things that I wanted to be big enough to get to, but I wouldn't know how to execute on a day-to-day basis to really make those things. Across time, I have hired many a business mentor, and some are trash and some are good, and we'll get into that conversation on a completely different episode. But one mentor finally did help me kind of figure out how to take this big picture, even a year, and concise that down, or make that more concise into a daily execution plan, a weekly execution plan, monthly, quarterly, and then obviously the year. He also said something that was interesting to me. As a goal setter, I never really thought, don't set lazy quarterly goals. Don't assume that every quarter you're going to hit the same metrics. If you have a goal for, say, for easy math, you have a goal for 12 clients in the year. Don't say that you're going to get 1 a month or 3 every quarter, because that's lazy. That's assuming that you don't grow throughout the year. That's assuming that there's not a slow period at certain points in the year. And especially with fitness, there absolutely is slow points. The summer, people have either already given up on that summer body concept, or they got it and they did all the work in January to June, or whatever the summer concept is to them. So there are slower periods in fitness, and that you can't assume to get as many clients there as you would for New Year's resolutions or back to school, when parents now have more time to focus on themselves because their kids are in school. And I never really thought about that until obviously my mentor said that. And that was towards the end of 2024. So when I looked into 2025, I was thinking I'm basically starting from ground zero, because again, the fuckery got in the way. I struggle with depression a lot, and I also struggle with, ooh, look, it's shiny, kind of ADHD symptoms. I do have ADHD, and that is a big issue in my business, because I am not the type of person that needs, that can function 12 hours a day at high performance. I am the type of person that functions for 15 hours one day, and then I don't want to do work for 3 more. So I have to be able to build my business around that concept and be able to just, touch base with my clients during the week and not have to do a big chunk of work while I am taxed out. And I have learned a pattern about myself in the process of starting this business and being a content creator, that here in Q2, which is what we're heading into, I need to set myself up for Q3 to basically be self-sufficient on content. Because in the summer, I'm not only busier, but I also have a lot of depressive episodes that just make me not want to be online. And my business doesn't grow, my business doesn't flourish if I'm not online. And so those are things that I have to be aware of going into Q2 and Q3, because I have learned these patterns of a lot of failures and a lot of fuckery in my first 2 or 3 years of business. So let's hop straight into 2025 goals. And as always, if you want to share some of your goals and share some of your progress as a fellow small business owner and fellow creator, feel free to do so in the comments. Here's just kind of where I'm at. For 2025, I had a lot of lofty fucking goals. And I mean a lot. Because at the end of 2024, I had stopped posting. I was worried about the TikTok shutdown. I still am to a certain extent because a lot of my business has come from TikTok, and we do not have a clear future, even in March of 2025, for what that platform is going to do. We got a stay of execution, if you will, in January that the Trump administration wants to say they saved, but that's not reality. And we're safe till April 5th, but then we have to go through all the rigmarole of saying bye to the app we love, potentially, again, for like the 500th time. And I'm getting tired of that whiplash, and I knew I was getting tired of that whiplash, so I wanted to put a focus into YouTube, into podcasting, and into building my client roster, online and offline. In the end of 2024, and these goals may shift a little bit as I am learning new things about myself throughout the year, but at the end of 2024, this is the list of goals that I created in 2025. I want to fill my coaching roster, and for every coach that means something different, but for me, who still works full-time, I created a number that said if I have 15 clients on my roster, I would max myself out. That would be very difficult to handle all at once. I'm not going to lie and say it won't while I'm working full time. But also it would bring in enough with the minimal overhead a coaching business has for me to be able to step down to part-time at my corporate job and alongside some of my other goals, bring in enough income hopefully to also hire an editor. Now, my coaching roster, while I do accept pay in fulls, is mostly subscription-based clients. So that is a recurring income that I get from my business and can reinvest back into hiring editors, reinvest back into the channel here and my channel on the fitness page. That is a top priority because I can't grow future businesses or even the fitness business client-wise without filling that roster. I started 2024 with one legacy client and 2025 and one scholarship client. I don't consider either of those a part of that 15 roster clients list. But I also knew that quarter one, I likely wasn't going to hit any client growth targets. Why? Because what you do in the 60 days prior to a big event when it comes to trying to pull in clients is the lead up to building that know, like, trust with clientele and people in your community. And I wasn't doing that. So I wanted to spend quarter one focused on growing my platforms, growing my visibility, growing my presence in other people's communities. And while I haven't been perfect, I think I'm being successful there. However, reaching my coaching roster goals by the end of quarter three or beginning of quarter three, as I have listed right now, is going to be a hustle and bustle to be able to do. And maybe we push that to quarter four. I have the next goal in my 2025 list is getting my first major partnership or sponsor. And I am working towards that already. Not only am I working on building my channels, but I have also generated an affiliateship with the gamer supplement company Advanced. Now, there are many gamer supplement companies out there, and I am very choosy and very picky when it comes to supplement companies and like meal prep companies and things like that in the fitness space that I work with. I chose Advanced after going to MegaCon as an affiliate program because I was looking for a company that I would recommend to my clients in the case that they asked, but also because this company is small, open label, and if you were a good affiliate with them, you can provide a lot of insight into future products, and I can potentially work with them to sponsor or partner with them at MegaCon next year. They had a booth, and I could maybe do a giveaway and share their subscriber list, if you will, and become a full partner with them if I continue to share their products, which I actually genuinely love. I don't have any with me right now as I'm recording this, but their sleep product has been the first sleep supplement that has ever really worked for me. Their energy, focus, and hydration I tasted them all at MegaCon and they all taste delicious. And I look forward to ordering more full-size tubs of each of those as I'm capable. So that's that one. I am working towards those things, but I'd also love to have a sponsor on a YouTube video or for a Twitch stream or for this podcast that isn't just something that I signed up for. I would love to work with companies that I support and love and maybe end up on a few PR lists. But that's towards the end of the year as well. The next one I have is Twitch Partner. Now I have this set for the end of 2025. And I'm realizing as I am kind of dealing with the content world throughout 2025, while streaming is still a very fun thing for me, I would rather put more focus into growing my YouTube and making sure my videos get out on time and are well edited and well put together than streaming. And while I would still love to hit Twitch Partner, I want to focus on growing my YouTube before I focus on Twitch Partner. And I hope the two go together, right? I may have to cancel a stream or two when it comes to streaming and being a YouTuber to get videos out. But I'm hoping as I continue to grow my community on YouTube, some of that community will also come find me on Twitch. Same with TikTok. As I continue to live stream there for as long as we have that platform, I'm hoping they'll come to Twitch as I continue to stream and share the content I love on YouTube and TikTok. So while I did put that as a goal, it's not one that I will be upset if I don't get because I'm not consistently streaming because I'm focusing on consistent YouTube. The next one is YouTube Partner for Pod and Personal. Now, when I wrote this, the podcast I meant was not this one. This one was just a mini conception that I did for a challenge in my mentoring group where I was sharing my daily reflections and sharing my goals. And while it started out as that, I really enjoyed it. And it seemed, while I was watching my views for an extremely non-optimized YouTube video grow, it seemed like there was a community that might also enjoy this content. So while I realize it would not be easy to make this channel also hit partner by the end of the year, I do want to push for it. I want this to be monetized. I want mostly I want the fitness page to be monetized and grow and be over the requirements by the end of the year. But that one still holds true because now I get to talk to all of you on this podcast and not have to worry about feeling so confined to a topic that I don't really love anymore. And a co-host who wasn't so serious. And the next goal is launching my VOD channel. Now, this is one I've been toying a lot with doing early. While I'm still a small streamer, I want to be able to maybe multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch rather than just Twitch. But I don't want to do that on my main channel. I want my main channel to be the videos, the reviewing fitness products, the reviewing or gamer fitness products, the how to game and work out, the workouts in the style of whatever character I decide to put on, reviewing stupid things like the Mountain Dew cookbook, plus my Let's Plays. But the thing is if I do a VOD channel, I can do the edited supercuts there and not on my main channel. It's one thing when I do a fitness gaming video, and another one I'm just doing Let's Plays, and I want to separate those two, I think. And that's kind of where the idea for the VOD channel came from, but I don't want to have to put a ton of work into a VOD channel if that's what I'm doing. I want it to kind of just be evergreen content that's from a stream that I did on both Twitch and YouTube. And maybe some supercuts of the best of the best. I don't want to have to edit until I have an editor. I don't want to have edited videos for two channels. So while I want to launch that early, because I predicted for Q4 on that one, I'm not sure if it's worth it right now. And I'm not sure if live streaming on YouTube is worth it. I just don't know. I don't know enough about live streaming here to know if maybe it would be worth it or maybe it wouldn't. So I guess I can check off this next goal because if you're listening to this, I've done it. Launch second podcast. While the first podcast went away, I am launching this one. And maybe in the future, I'll have one with other creators or other fitness coaches. But for now, I'm okay with just having my own thing. And this being where all of that lives. My journey from corporate drone to corporate dropout, my rants about fitness, and maybe I revamp the other one in the future too. And kind of change the story of what engineering chaos meant. But I guess I can check it off because I am launching the second podcast right here, right now. This is my second episode and welcome to it. And the next goal is launch group coaching program. Now, I will not launch group coaching if I do not fulfill my coaching roster. But the other thing that is holding me back from group coaching is not having a spot that I can do guided workouts in. I can't really film in my local gym, and I would need a home gym here at home to be able to do that, and I don't have the equipment to do that right now. I want to be able to record videos specifically for my groups and, participate with them more regularly, and I just don't have the time for that right now. And I definitely won't have the time with that with a full roster. So that is for the end of the year if I reach my full roster, just to allow my ability to help more people. And I would probably do it just straight out of my Discord. I wouldn't put a whole lot of fluff to it, but I would have a group coaching channel that maybe is a cheap entrance, and I'll give you a bunch of videos and things like that to watch rather than, one-on-one where I'm customizing everything, I don't know how I would do that, but that's set for the end of Q4. However, that is highly dependent on filling my coaching roster, and that had a lot of hustle in Q3 and Q2 really, because Q3 is kind of a dead end for growth because of what I mentioned previously. So I guess I'm about to hustle and bustle, ladies and squirms. I don't know what I was on when I said beginning of Q3 for filling my roster, but apparently I was feeling good. And then the next goal we have is hire a full-time editor. I love creating content. I don't love editing content. And I would rather spend my money on an editor than spend my money on assistant coaches. I would rather be the person that coaches all of the people I work with and know what the quality is coming out of me and be able to judge an editor and give notes and things like that, rather than have coaches who are coaching people who came to the space for me. I don't feel good about assistant coaches. That's just a me thing. However, I would greatly benefit from an editor, because while I can spend the hours to become an amazing editor, I would rather support the small freelancers that are available for doing good work. And then a more personal side of the goals is hitting my goal weight. And while I don't really know what that is, because I want to be strong rather than skinny, I know what it's not. I'm going more for a look when I say goal weight, because weight is a number, but I'm also going for a size, and I'm also going for I want to fit in certain things that I really like, and I'm working on that. And that will be for a wedding I'm going to in June. That is my goal line. I will continue to work on it, obviously, if I don't hit it, but the target there is, goal weight for that wedding. The next one I've already checked off. One of my Q1 goals was to pay off my vehicle, and I did that. I worked hard, and I paid off my car. And in today's day and age, where everything is a little bit more expensive, having to, cut things down and get rid of subscriptions and get rid of services that I had as a business owner, because I'm not bringing in that much money. So I was self-funding a lot of my business and all of the subscriptions and things like that I have to buy. To get that paid off, because it was paid off early. It wasn't just like, make my last payment. No, I paid it off early. So, yeah. Yay me, I'm checking off goals already. And then the last few are just more paying off, and then building. Obviously, stepping down to part-time is the numero uno big goal aside from filling my coaching roster. The rest are kind of just nice to haves, paying off more things, building a home gym, and starting to do guided workouts as streams, and maybe doing double stream days if I'm working part-time, so that I will be, working out with you guys in the morning and then playing with you at night. I don't know if that's what that's going to look like, because I don't know if I'll be able to build my home gym. And in my current space, I'm not sure I want to. I think I would rather take the 5 to 7 grand I would spend on building a home gym and put it towards something like paying off debt or putting it in a high gaining account to be able to buy a piece of land. Because while the world is crashing down, if we do enter or are currently in a recession, it's not a bad move if you can afford it to go buy some damn property. Even if I don't build on it for a couple years, if I just buy the property while it's dirt ass fucking cheap, I can pay the property off before I ever have to get a loan to build on it. Or I can just build on it with cash over time. I'm not in a hurry to get out of my current house. I don't have any plans to sell it. I mean, honestly, this space, if I didn't build my gym first, this space would probably just become a content space for me to be able to come and work somewhere other than my own home or a rental property. Or we'd sell it to make back the equity we have in it. I don't know. Either way, I don't know that, financially speaking, spending $5,000 to $7,000 on gym equipment right now when I could just go buy the property. Obviously, $5,000 to $7,000 is not going to be the property. But if I'm going to keep my gym membership anyway, it's a pretty good chunk of what may be a down payment for a piece of land. Or, I don't know, a vacation. Fuck if I know. I just don't know that I really want to build. I could do workout streams with something like dumbbells, which are $200, versus getting a whole home gym set up with a rack and barbell and all of that. Because the reality is, a lot of my clientele at the moment is people that aren't ready for barbell work anyway. So a dumbbell might be more beneficial to the end goal. But anyways, that is the 2025 goals. And how I went about setting those was mostly what it would take to, go down to part-time and start to leave the corporate world and start to fend for myself. Because while I'm not the type of person that can just run and jump off a cliff when it comes to my financial stability, I can build something in the background while I then, slowly phase out so that I have time to figure out how to get insurance and, pay off any extra remaining debt that might be a problem if my business goes a little dip every now and again. But I also want my business to be at a place where I can fund my secondary business plans as an investor before I fully leave corporate world. I want to be able to pay my editor and have multiple streams via sponsorships and AdSense and everything else that comes with being a creator on top of being a coach to stabilize the business before I ever lose some of my income from the corporate world. Because running a business is scary, but I want to do it. So that was 2025. Now, how am I taking those and breaking those down into monthly, quarterly, weekly goals? Well, as you can note, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that I was looking up behind me, and that's because I am a whiteboard adult. And sometimes I'm kind of afraid to admit that, because some whiteboard adults, especially in corporate world, are not people you really want to interact with. They might be a little scary, and sometimes I might be that person. But I have all of my goals in wet erase marker, if they're ones that are long lasting, on my whiteboard behind me. And then every quarter, right? We're about to go into quarter 2. I need to set some plans for quarter 2. And hopefully also make up some of the leeway in my quarter 3 results or quarter 1 results. Where did I get 3 from? That I haven't set. But we'll talk more about the quarterly goals in the future, because we're almost at the end of quarter 1. So we'll talk about where we're at and where we're going at the end of the quarter. However, I take those quarterly goals based off of the big ones, right? If I need 15 clients for the year, I will break that out over where I was doing at the end of 24 and build. I knew quarter 2 would be my biggest build. And then quarter 4, again, will be another big build if I don't fill it in 2. 3 will be kind of slow, just because it's the summer, and it typically is slow. So I knew 1 would be slow, and I knew 3 would be slow. 2 and 4 are my biggest pushes. And the beginning of 1 of 26 will be a big push too. if I'm not already full, being the keywords there. If I'm full, then we don't have to worry about, Black Friday and New Year's and all of those things. We can kind of coast on group coaching and launching that, or YouTube. We can coast on those things and just keep coaching and doing what I need to do. So I set my January, February, and March goals based off of my Q1 goals. March, now I want to talk a little bit about subscribers, followers, those types of metrics that you can't really control. I don't put a ton of focus on them. While I do want to look at growth over time, as a creator, I cannot say I want, let's say, 200 subscribers on YouTube by the end of next week. Because I genuinely am still testing content. I don't know what's going to do well and what's not, because I tried to follow the same formula of a video that did really well, but I don't think the topic was as popular, so it didn't do as well. So I am still playing with YouTube. And TikTok hates me and loves me at the same time because I'm multi-niche and it doesn't know what to do with me. So when it comes to followers, I have not really found my groove, but also it is so hit or miss on those types of goals that I try to make a monthly one rather than weekly ones. Just purely because you are not in control of that. You are in control of a lot of things in your business and how you optimize in the algorithm and analyze that data, but you're really not in control of the numbers. So analyzing that data, good. Hanging your entire success, if you will, on those numbers, not so good. So I don't like to do them, but I do have a few up there for March right now, and I've hit 2 of the 3 of them. So I'm okay with that. You want to make sure you also have personal goals mixed in with your business goals, because your life isn't just your business. If you want to work on your relationships with, say, your husband or your wife or your family or your kids, you want to make sure that you're at every event for your kid, or you want to have a daddy-daughter date night. Those are things that you need to make an active commitment to on a daily, weekly, monthly, and so on basis. So some of my personal goals to share a little bit is my physique, because I, as a trainer, I was talking the talk a lot and somewhat walking the walk, but I got lackadaisical over the end of 24, and I am still struggling to get back into it a little bit. I don't have that love I had for the gym when I was training as a roller derby person, and I've kind of just gotten bored with it. Not with being fit, but bored with barbell work and bored with just getting strong, because I feel like I hit like a plateau. I can't physically eat enough to continue to gain muscle, and that's not me making excuses. That's just where my brain is at right now. I felt like I plateaued, and that sent me on a deep dive. I keep cycling the same range because I can't make the extra commitment, or couldn't make the extra commitment to keep going. So just like everybody else, I am focusing on, the basics, making sure that I hit my protein, making sure I hit my water, trying to sleep well, despite my husband's best efforts, getting fun little things like closing my rings and doing VR workouts. I have to do a lot of those for videos anyway, so I utilize them to help me kind of amplify the workouts in the gym I'm already doing. I switched to splits to try to make me go to the gym every day rather than every other day. I'm doing the things that I would teach my clients to do to get to my personal goals. So I do have a couple that are physical and mental well-being goals for myself every week. Reading is a big thing to me, and it should be to a lot of people too. Whether you're reading fiction or nonfiction, it doesn't really matter. Reading is a fun way to kind of escape reality, if you will. Whether it be audiobooks or actual physical reading, everyone should do some reading and research if they want something to add to their fitness routine that adds information or adds benefit, I guess, to their routine. So yes, I have personal and physical ones every month and every week. But once I get down to the month is where I really, really struggle, because then I have to go do the weekly and daily execution ones. And daily, my life changes a lot. A new meeting would pop up and change my stream time. Or my husband will not go to Airsoft and I don't have all day Saturday to edit. Or for instance, next weekend, or this upcoming weekend actually, is my anniversary. So we're going on a road trip to go spend some time together. But those aren't bad things. Those are just things you have to plan for and around so that your business keeps going while you get to enjoy life. And you never want to build a business that, you couldn't sustain once you're successful. I don't want to build a business that has me working 6 days a week because that's not what I want. If I wanted that, I would just stay in fucking corporate. So goal setting has always been really, really difficult. And even 3 months into 2025, I am not 100% perfect. I started doing these things that I need to get back to, and I will get back to it now that I'm kind of, going through yet another one of those phases where life isn't working the way I really wanted it to. And so I kind of threw myself a pity party. Into the fuckery I go. And now I'm realizing I did it again. So we are taking future back by the reins, and we are focusing on YouTube videos this week and making sure all of those are done. All of the ones between now and the end of April that I can record now will be recorded and edited ASAP, at least through March, because it is still early March. And we might start scripting and looking at recording clips for future April videos. But we've got that. March, how are we doing? March plans, we're getting there. My goal setting has gotten worse and less detailed and less daily, and I'm not doing my daily wins. I'm not doing the things I should be doing as a business owner right now, and that's why goal setting is interesting, because it forces you to look back on your analytics and go, did I do the things that I needed to do to get there and just didn't? Or was I fucking off? And the answer is, for March, I've been fucking off. I didn't get any videos out last week. No, I did get one video out. I didn't get my Friday video out because it was being a fucking shit show. The video was just like, nah, I don't want to upload. Or I don't want to process, and I didn't want to export either, so I just gave up on it. And then I didn't finish the video for this week, Wednesday video, and I haven't exported Friday's video yet either. Yeah. I had all of this work done last week, and I'm still fucking off. It is hard to balance being a 9-to-5er and being a business owner and being a coach and being a content creator. And I don't seem to have enough hours in the day unless I don't sleep. And then when I try to sleep, my husband doesn't want to let me sleep. So that's where I'm at. But that is your Tuesday episode on goals. So have you set your goals for this week? And if you have, feel free to leave them in the comments below and check back in with, were you successful in next week's Tuesday episode? Because that is what we're going to be talking about on Tuesdays. Goals, progress, how we're doing when it comes to those, how we feel about some of our goals. Because even recording this episode now, I'm looking at some of the 2025 ones and I'm like, do I still support that? Is that still something I want to do? Because it is okay to change goals in business. It is okay to change your mind as long as you don't give up. If this is something you truly want, don't give up. Change the picture, change the idea, change the plan. At one point, I thought TikTok was going to be my main platform, and now I'm turning it into YouTube. And I almost solely want to be a YouTuber at this point, aside from coaching, obviously. I want my main clientele to be coming from YouTube. And I didn't think that would be a thing when I first started making videos, but it is. I am here for the long haul. I didn't think that at the start of this year, I would be giving up my podcast. But I am. I mean, my old one. Because this is the new one. Hi, hello. But I did that. So cheers to the rest of March. We will be checking back in on how we're doing on our goals and talking about our goals for next week. But for this week, we're on track to get everything done. Because we have a big, big event on Twitch coming up. Next week. Or not. Let me think. Yeah. Next week, I'm doing a big set of giveaways and a big streamathon type thing. I'm not doing like a subathon where I'm going to go with a timer and all of that, but it will be a long stream, probably 12 hours, where I probably just won't end stream until I'm done with the challenge. And it's going to be a fitness gaming challenge mixed with a game I've never played. So with 3 giveaways at minimum that all have something to do with free coaching. One is a big scholarship. One is a consultation assessment. And then and obviously there are other things that go with these giveaways, right? The big scholarship giveaway is by itself because it is a big thing. And then the middle giveaway, I'm going to be doing some of the supplements from Advanced and a 1 month free coaching and maybe some snacks. I don't know. And then the last one is just a consultation call to kind of give you next steps based on your current fitness, health, gaming routine. And yeah, I don't know, maybe a merch shirt or something like that. So, and I will be launching my website with that too, and I've been working pretty hard on that. So yeah, that's where we're at. We're prepping for that and jamming our way through that big celebration because hopefully that'll bring in some clients too. So yeah, I appreciate you all for being here, and I know this was a chaotic episode because you're talking about goals and I get very sidetracked with that because I always seem to be overthinking it. Goals are not an easy thing for me because I always want the next best thing, even if I haven't reached the thing in front of it. And that's hard to never really be satisfied with what I'm doing currently because I always want the next step. So if you're like that, feel free to say hi in the comments below or subscribe. As always, welcome to the chaos, and I hope you're not as much in the fuckery as I am.